Meeting called to order. We have a roll call.
Dr. Robinson? Here. Mr. West?
Here.
Dr. Blunt? Here. Mrs. Ware? Here. Mr. James?
All is present. Okay. Adoption of anything on the agenda need to be changed at this time? If not, can we adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Moved and second, all in favor? Any public comment?
No, sir.
No. Recognition and presentation number 5.1.
Mr. James, members of the board, we start this board meeting honoring you all. You have an attendance award, 2022-2023. This document certifies that the Natchez-Adams School District has earned the distinction of Board of Merit, a board whose members have been diligent in accessing opportunities to refine their school governance skills through continuing education training provided by the Mississippi School Board Association. And it's signed by Natchez Jackson, the executive director, and Cecil Lozano, the president of the Mississippi School Board Association. So, congratulations. Let's hope this is going to get your picture.
Just get Mr. James.
No.
Certificate, there you go.
She's the one,
Look at me.
like roll down. I was looking at you. Okay. All right, 5.2.
Yes, sir, Mr. James, and members of the board, we want to present our first 9 weeks superintendent scholars. So if you will turn your attention to one of the TV. First 9 weeks superintendent scholars, let's see McLaurin Elementary School. Let's give all those students a round of applause. Morgantown Elementary School. West Elementary. Natchez Middle School. Natchez High School. Natchez Early College at Coaling. Our totals for honor roll for the first 9 weeks, we just recognized our 302 superintendent scholars. We also had 455 principals scholars. So we are excited about what our kids are doing in the classroom and the teachers that are providing great instruction. So thank you again, and we appreciate the recognition of our superintendent scholars.
Thank you.
All right. We have, she's not here. The award that we received was for going to class and learning something. And I think Ms. Ware, you got more hours than anything.
I've seen that.
Mr. West, got your head out.
And received it in Jackson.
He went over ahead.
Yeah.
James said he didn't feel like going up through all that traffic in his wheelchair. He sent me up there again.
Yeah.
And you,
So
he would.
we
He went in
last
front of
year,
everybody, he skipped everybody, went straight up to.
no, that was Dr.
That was me.
And the whole room looking at her. She walked straight to the front.
That's what you do, Doc.
But Mr. West, you have less hours, right?
Now, you know that's not for public discussion. I don't know anything about that, but that's okay.
You all.
I'm from the school of hard knocks.
You all would love to go on the trip with us. We have fun.
We do.
We really have fun. Lakita be just looking at us.
I think she'd be embarrassed.
Yeah, she sits there the whole day. Just like, and we go
What you all didn't know, while we were in the conference the other day, when they were, there was a lady who came over from the administration and whispered in my ear. Probably nobody else paid attention. She said, y'all please be a little quieter. Yeah, she did. I said, oh, I apologize. When the lady was talking, you know, the superintendent, we were discussing some of the things she was saying. And I said, I didn't know my boy. She came to me, so I guess my boy.
Stop having so much fun. Cause I think you were the only one talking. Yeah.
I was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna start going on conference with you all. Show y'all how to have a good time. All right, let's go to Miss.
She's parking.
Okay, so I can go back to. Let's do 5.5 first.
Okay. Mr. James and members of the board, we have two teachers that we want to present and honor today. They met their student achievement goals for term 1, so we want to recognize them. And their certificates will read Natchez-Adams School District Honors. Congratulations on meeting your student achievement goals for term 1. Through your dedication, preparation, and delivery of instruction, great things are happening for your students. Thank you for all you do for your school and the Natchez-Adams School District. And it's signed by the superintendent, Sandra McDonald Green. So I'd like to call up at this time, 3rd grade ELA teacher from McLaurin Elementary, Devin Dunaway.
Thank you, Ms. Tony. We appreciate all the great things that you're doing. Yeah, we're here.
Oh, didn't have to.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Thank y'all. I'm going back to
Don't go far, don't go far. And 3rd grade math teacher from McLaurin Elementary, Whitney Proby. And we thank you all so much, and we want to treat you all to dinner. This will get you dinner. If you would like appetizers, please see Mr. James. If you would like any cocktails, please see Mr. West.
So, Mr. James and members of the board, it is our goal that throughout the school year, we want to celebrate the hard work of teachers, because we know teachers are doing the hard work of the district, the real work of the district. So we want to make sure that we celebrate them, acknowledge their accomplishments and their contributions, and make sure that our children grow and safe.
Okay. Now we will have quarterly career coach.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, members of the board.
Okay.
Well, my name is Faith Lewis. I am the Natchez-Adams School District Career Coach, and I'm here to give the update. On November 15th, we had our first professional development fashion show with our seniors, and we had 24 seniors to participate. And all 24 seniors have completed college applications, and all of the 24 seniors are employed at jobs in our local town and with the help of their career coaches. I don't have the date right now, but we are doing a real life. It's a real life game, and it shows it gives the students real life budgets of a doctor or a store clerk or a school teacher, and it has about if you have 2 kids, if you have 1 kid, how to budget. That's basically the thing of the game. Right now, CMPDD, my company, has given us ARPA. It's an internship program. where my program would pay the students to work at local companies or businesses around here. So we're getting that started. Mrs. James we have 10 each. So 10 of our students will have a chance to fill out the application for the internship and get paid. It's not a free internship, it's a paid internship with Central Mississippi Planning and Development District.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Very coaches really are doing a wonderful job with our students. The students are now excited about the opportunities they're getting. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about, making sure that they have the experiences and exposures that they need in order to make quality decisions about what they're gonna do after high school.
okay. Then we'll have our secondary data presentation.
We'll start with Morgantown Elementary. They were unable to, Joe was unable to be with us on last month, so she will begin the presentation on today. So Ms. Jones?
Good evening, Mr. James, President, members of the board, Ms. McDonald, Superintendent. I bring you greetings from Morgantown Elementary, where the magic begins. I come before you this afternoon to share with you our 2023 and 2024 accountability scoreboard and our goals. I started a reading proficiency. Last year they set goals, and so when we got received our accountability score this year, 35.6 in reading. That was an increase of 11.6%, 61 out of 160 students. Reading growth for all, 71.7. And so while you all are doing that, I also just want to recognize the former principal behind me, Miss Angela Reynolds, at Morgantown Elementary. So this is her hard work. And so let's read it from reading proficiency. Again, 35.6, which is an 11.6 increase, 61 out of 160 students. Reading growth for all, 71.7%, which is down from the previous year, but that's 75 students out of 103 students. The promising 25 in reading, 77.4, that's a 7.2% decrease, that's 20 out of 26 students. We'll move to math proficiency, 28.9, that's an increase of a 15.7% from the previous year. 45 out of 160 students. Math growth for all, 53.1, which is the decrease from the previous year, 16%. 56.75 out of 103 students. The math promising 25, 57.9, which is a decrease in 21.6%. That's 24 out of 31 students. In our science content area, the science proficiency, 68.9%, that is an increase, 23.7%, 32 out of 57 students, which gives us a score, 394, rating of a B, and that is an increase from the previous year of 2%. And so we'll move to our 2024 goals and reading proficiency. Our goal is 37%.
And that's that down arrow. It's incorrect.
That's right. And so 23 is 35.6, and so that arrow represents our reading growth for all, 75%. The reading growth for promising 25, our goal is 83%. For math proficiency, our goal is 40%. Math growth for all, the goal is 70%. And our math promising 25 goal is 85%. Science, this year, we do not have 5th grade, therefore we won't have a science component, which categorizes us as a 600-point student. Last year, it was calculated on a 700-point school. That rating was the 394B. With being a 600-point school this year, that calculation is adding up all areas: reading proficiency, reading growth for all, reading promising 25, math proficiency, math growth for all, math promising 25. You add all of those up, divide by 600, and multiply by 700, and that will give you your accountability rate. And so our projected goal is an increase of 455, which is equivalent to an A. Because we are NASD, and we are innovative, inspiring, and unified student-focused learning community, which motivates and empowers all students to succeed. And so if you say all, that means all. And so we're moving forward with our overall school goals, which I mentioned, are placed there, so you can see how it's broken down for reading and math without the science. And then our first benchmark assessment results, our proficiency was 19%, growth for all 44%, the growth for the promising 25 is 55%, the math proficiency 26%, 35%, and 37%. School enrollment, the total school enrollment for August 319, September 315. Student ADA 96.04. The number of students with 2 or more absences for the month, 93 for August and 99 for September. Teacher attendance rates 32% absent for August and 27% absent for the month of September. Number of disciplinary referrals, August 0, September 2023, 9.
And I will say that Morgantown for the month of August had a number of teachers who came in, so that accounted for that attendance. Yes.
And so it is included in our plan, and just speaking to some action steps to help change. And so, and looking at our first benchmark data, we know that there are some challenges, and we know there are some areas of needs to where we have to grow to address that. The teachers are analyzing data during their PLCs. They are determining the strengths and weaknesses. They are actually monitoring their progress. They are adjusting planning and teaching methods to increase academic success. They're strategically targeting students, doing small group instruction, doing class time. They also veer out into intervention settings. They utilize what's called a win time in addition to give extra support that's needed, and that's mentioned in number 5. The tailored centered small group instruction or one-to-one during their actual win time. The admin support, coaching, modeling, providing feedback, providing any support as needed. Our curriculum department is awesome, and the district as a whole. The curriculum department assists us with providing professional development on our wonders curriculum, providing guidance, thank you, on the structure of lesson planning, so there'll be consistency across grade levels and across the district. Surveying teachers for feedback to maximize effectiveness of the assessments of those different platforms that are being used. Our interventionists, who are an integral part of assisting us with moving those babies from 1s to 3s. The interventionists work with the students. They also are part of our PLCs. They too identify the focus standards for the first 9 weeks benchmark results. So after the assessments were done, after we pulled together the data, those interventionists went in and actually looked at the areas that still were a struggle. For those first-time 3rd graders that did not have scores, they actually looked at the benchmark, the VOY, and said, okay, let's find the skills that we actually targeted to see where they were for VOY and if they made a difference in that area. And looking at both interventions, math and English, they had some tremendous growth. There's still, like I said, we still have some challenges, but growth is evident based on the results presented by the interventionists. They create individual student plans that actually target success, and that's not only shared with students, that's also shared with the parents. They use data trackers just as school-wide. The teachers have their trackers, The interventionists have their own trackers to where they actually track the students to see how they're progressing. They implement evidence-based research strategies. They use different resources. For example, in the classroom, the teacher uses wonders, and then they may come out and use some other things to actually assist. And so during that intervention time, they can actually meet that kid where that kid is to bring them up to where they need to be. They meet with both admins regularly to share some things that they see, make suggestions. And we too, as we monitor, make suggestions as well. Again, the curriculum department plays a heavy role in that. They provide small group training to teachers, interventionists and assistants, and additional paraprofessionals to assist interventionists. Ms. Clark comes out, and not only does she do those workshops herself, she partnered with MDE, and they actually do those workshops to assist teachers to get a better, to fine tune what they're already doing just to maximize the effectiveness. They provide professional development, and so any concerns or anything that a teacher feels they need assistance with, I reach out to them, and there's any computer assistant administrators, I read it, Master Connect, Wonders, or any other programs that we have, and they don't say, Ms. Jones, we don't have any money, so Ms. Jones, if the teachers say they need it, they make it happen. Providing funding for consultants in needy areas, and providing enrichment tutorial programs, and that's a work in progress. We presently have after school tutorial going on for 2 hours a week, and they actually use the data from iReading classroom assessments to help build a strong foundation as they work in after school tutorials, not the same as the girl in the class. They kind of use some STEM activities and make it more interesting and fun for students to come out. And with STEM being said, when speaking with the curriculum department, we're gonna order some additional activities to add to that fund. And so, again, they did not shy away. They said, well, Ms. Jones, if the teachers see the need, then we'll help you all meet the need. The consultants that we have in our building, MDE, she works with 3rd and 4th grade teachers to improve good Tier 1 instruction, both ELA and math. They collaborate with the teachers, their team coach. Ms. Spell is one of our MDE coaches. She's religiously in the classroom with the teachers. She goes in and she models for the teachers. She assists teachers with any instruction or problems that they may have. And so we look at Tier 1 instruction, and if we improve Tier 1 instruction, then half of our battle is won. They assist with the implementation of best practice and instructional strategies. Like I said again, they model that instruction and they coach as needed. They don't just model and turn them loose, they follow through. And again, that's just a collaboration piece. Kids First is in our building. They are one of the consultants. They do provide one-to-one with our 4th grade teacher. We have one 4th grade teacher, and that one-to-one support is provided with her. Last year, she was a first-year teacher, and her gains in ELA looked good. And so if it's working, we're going to work it. So the teacher said she, they partner, they work well together. And if we see increase in results, then we keep those results. So with that being said, that is working. And so interventionists, we're using them as co-teachers. One of our interventionists go into the classroom when the consultant is not here and co-teach with that teacher to maximize instruction. Excessive absences and tardiness, those are some challenges. And so where it comes to students, we are putting in our counselor. We are both admin and counselor contacting parents. They do check-ins with students, implementation of behavior plans, the PBIS, and working with the MTSS coordinating when parents come to the building. I meet with them if they're after 7:45, and then we discuss a plan. And so also meeting with them to meet their needs, to see what it is we can do to help them get their baby to school on time.
Do most of them, do they come by, how many come by bus? And how many are brought by parents? Do we have that broken down?
We can get that information.
Okay.
And so, we also have our support personnel, Ms. Jones, the family support team. If you're with Ms. Veronica, because I call them the boots on the ground people, but Ms. Veronica Green and her team in Jack and Jones, so they'll do home visits, say, let's see what's going on. Mr. Davis has been helpful. He'll also go knock on the door, just to say, well, we just checking on you, Ms. Jones, say, what's going on. SEL activities, feedback, and for faculty and staff as well. Implementing PBIS, SEL activities for them. A lot of the attendance was due to illnesses, and like I say, there was an uptick for a while, and when we have little babies, those that have, if they have everybody, they come in contact with them, have it. So, that did get better, in September. And so, just working with the school nurse, so the district provides school nursing and school-based clinic is right there. So when the teachers are feeling ill, they are able to go down to the clinic and get some service that keeps them at school rather than having to go home. And so that ends some of what we are doing at Morgantown Elementary to make a difference in our schools and have a positive impact on student achievement. Any questions? Praise the Lord.
Natchez Middle School.
Good evening, board president, members of the board, Superintendent Green. At this time, we're going to review, Natchez Middle School accountability goals for 2022-2023 school year. Our accountability rating, 280D. This school year, our accountability rating 387D. So our goal, for reading proficiency, we want to increase that to 30%, math proficiency, 30%, science proficiency, 50%. For growth all, 74%. For math growth all, 73%. For reading, promising 25, 60%. And for math, promising 25, 60%. That give us a total of 377, which is a B. Before I move forward, our mission and vision at Natchez Middle School is to do right, to be right. Our mission, all students will be equipped with academic, social, emotional skills to transition to high school as confident and successful learners. Our first term results for proficient for reading. For our overall school goal, we had 30%. For our first benchmark assessment result, we had 30%. So that's celebration in itself. We're working with math. We have some challenges there. We have a new teacher. And for science, our science projected proficiency, and this is just first benchmark, 32%, and our goal is 50%. And I truly believe that we're going to exceed our overall school goal when it comes to science. So I'm looking forward to see the outcome for science.
I will say at the middle school that we have had some staffing issues. Working with Dr. Morrison, we do have consultants in that building to provide some support to there. We have some novice teachers who are still becoming acclimated to those standards. So they are working diligently for that. You all know we lost probably one of the best 8th grade science teachers in this area. And so we, Ms. Dunbar recently received a new science teacher who is knowledgeable of those standards. And so that's why we have that strong, and she only came when? Near the end of the first night, I believe. So she hasn't been there long. So to post that type of growth, it's excellent. So we're confident she'll definitely get her.
Do we have some people helping with math?
Yes. Yes. And so we've had really good conversations in our PLCs. You know that PLCs are our driving vehicle. really sitting down with teachers, planning out good lessons, good assessments, and then taking a look at that data to determine what went well, what did not go well, and how we can provide additional support to students. And so that team is working very diligently, and so we know that those numbers are going to.
That's just that crucial time.
Middle
If they
school
get-
is a
in
hard-
middle school, if
it's
they've
a
got
hard
to get that, they've got to get that math down, right? Golly.
Look on the faces, you'll say middle school again, you'll know who's been there.
Oh.
Yes, but we're confident those numbers.
Yes, ma'am. So we look at our school enrollment, from August to October, we started with 597. As of now, we are 604. Our student, average attendance, we have 93.97 for September and 93.89 for October. Some issues when it comes to discipline, but we have things in place. Teacher attendance rate, 90%, 95% for September and 96% for October. Our goal for Natchez Middle School for teacher attendance is 95%. So we are on average when it comes to our teacher attendance rate. Some of our action steps, when I go through all, Ms. McDonald mentioned a very focus point for us at Natchez Middle School, that's PLC. So on Tuesday, we have data PLC. At first, we were just having PLC just one day a week, and we felt like that's not enough. So we have data PLC, when we actually look at our common formative assessment. We look at those standards. Our students score 50% below, and we come up with a plan on how we want to teach those standards. Also, we have a planning PLC, which is on Thursday, and that's when teachers look maybe 2 weeks in advance and start planning those lessons and those small groups instruction as well. We continue to have ongoing modeling, facilitating, and planning. One great thing, we have our data posted and monitored. Thanks with the help of Dr. Morrison, we have that up and running. Also with our ELA coach, Ms. Linda Logan. Also with Ms. Sandra Trimble, our MTSS coordinator as well. Also for ELA, again, middle school, we are in the middle, so we have challenges. However, we have small group, you usually see small group in elementary, so we're implementing small group and teacher-led instructions with the ELA department on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Then we're gonna move on to math, and then we're gonna move on to science. We do have consultants in the building. We have Green Math Consultants, so we have one consultant for the 6th grade math team. We have a consultant for 7th grade and for 8th grade. For science, we have the Bailey Science Consultant, and right now her focus is 8th grade science. Again, I'm excited about those numbers for 8th grade. It is not for 8th grade science, for all subject areas. Also, we reduced our class transition time to help with the discipline from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. Again, in middle school, we like to visit friends, we like to hug, we like to do all sorts of things. So we reduce that transition time. Also, we revise our morning and afternoon duty posts, and also we reassign students morning dismissal. And another great thing that's going on in Natchez Middle School, our rating incentive. Again, our students need to be exposed, just not what's inside of Natchez, outside of Natchez. So if they meet their goals for our rating, the plan for our students to take a trip, of course approved, out of state, main event, or in-state, a Braves game or something of that sort to get them excited. So let's conclude my presentation for Natchez Middle School.
Thank you.
Natchez Early Challenge.
Good evening, Mr. James, members of the board, Ms. McDonald Green. Briefly is my strong suit, so if I go too fast or if I miss something, just stop me. So I will start with our previous year's dashboard. So for reading proficiency, we had 68% proficient. For reading growth all, 79.7%. Reading growth of our promising 25 was 66.7%. Moving on to math proficiency, 71.7%. Growth all for math, 107.1%. And growth for your promising 25 was 120.5%. For biology, proficiency, 54%. US history, 88.6%. Acceleration, that's our students enrolled in our dual credit courses, 127.8. Graduation rate, 97.9. CCR, that's where students scored what's considered the benchmark scores of 22 in math, 18 in reading and 18 in English, that was 35.6, which we would have had a total of 862 points. So you can skip the next one, Ms. McDonald, right now, combine it. So we'll talk about our goals in comparison to how we performed on the first 9 weeks benchmark assessment. So for English 2 proficiency, our goal is 80%, so that's 39 out of our 49 students. The actual for term 1 was actually 81%, 39 out of 48, so we actually met that goal, exceeded it slightly. For growth all, our goal is 96%. For the first benchmark assessment for English 2, we fell short just a little bit, but we are approaching that goal at 82% for the growth all. For the growth of our promising 25% for English 2, which is 12 students, our goal is 100%. Our actual was 83%. We only got 10 of those 12, but we are approaching that goal. Moving on to Algebra 1, our goal is 70% proficiency, so that's 32 out of the 46 students enrolled. And for term 1, we obtained 71% proficiency, so we did meet that goal. For growth all, Algebra 1, we expect 100%, 45 out of 45, and the actual for benchmark 1 was 86%, so 39 out of those 45. For growth of our promising 25, we have 14 students in the promising 25 for Algebra 1. The goal is 100%. Actual for term 1 was 100%, so we did meet that goal. For Biology 1, we did set a very high goal of 90%. So we want 43 out of our 48 students to score proficient on the biology test. We did not meet that goal, but we are approaching that goal. We have seen some growth in biology. For term 1, 76%, 37 out of the 48 did score proficient. For US history, this is the first year that we have both 10th and 11th grade students taking US history, and they will take the US history test. So that goal as of now, which will continue to move that needle up as we progress throughout the year. But as of now, the goal is for 60 out of those 97 students to score proficient, and we did meet that goal at 68%, 65 out of the 96 enrolled.
Biology is, it's a high school level biology that we're talking about here, not A and P,
No.
that's
Yes.
at Colin.
High school,
Yeah, they move into an A and P.
11th grade, they may take general biology, depending on their age.
Well, I mean, that's the tough one, and that's the one that everybody's got to have for nursing schools and for everything. It's the A and P, so I want to be sure that they're getting what they need so they can move into that class.
Right.
And I really wanna highlight that biology score, that although they didn't hit 9%, they're at 76%. I want to applaud that teacher, because she's had some health challenges that pulled her out of the classroom, but when she is there, she is on all cylinders. We also thank Mr. Tanner, who is the biology coach.
Yeah.
When she is away, he's in the classroom providing that support. And so we just applaud that staff for doing whatever it takes to make sure that our children are growing.
Yeah, because you know where, because I know a lot of these kids do want some sort of medical profession, so that's gonna be key to getting in there.
Absolutely, yes ma'am. For our school enrollment, ADA for August, this came from school status, so that number, it may be a little off, 95.46%. For September, the number that you see on the screen is incorrect. The ADA for September is actually 97.76. So for the number of students for August that had 2 or more absences was 11. September 23, so that's 91 and 90% respectively. And the number of discipline refers for August is 3, and for September we had 2. And just to talk about some of the challenges that we saw, just looking at the data alone. So biology, like Ms. McDonald Green said, we did not reach that goal. We didn't quite reach the goal for English 2, growth all, or the promising 25. And for algebra 1, we did not quite make that goal for the growth of the promising 25. So just like everybody else has said, you know, there's a lot of things that we do at the school. But the thing that we do that's the most impactful is the PLC cycles that the district has implemented that we've been working through for the past couple of years. And that's when we meet together as a team, we plan the lessons out, we plan the instructional activities out, we plan for the failures, and even though we, you know, hope that doesn't happen, and we look at those individual students and their data, and we discuss what we can do to move each student forward individually, as well as the students collectively if they struggle with the same content. So that's just anything of. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Natchez High School.
Capital of Bulldog Country.
Good evening, Ms. James, members of the board, Ms. McDonald Green.
We gotta go along to this, so speak up.
Okay. Greetings from Natchez High School. Ours have to be loaded, but I'll read from our handout. Our last year accountability rating was 705, which was a B. We had 39.4% proficiency in reading, which was an increase of 9.6%. We had 71.9 growth all in reading, which was up 28.4%, and 86.9 for the promising 25, which was up 59.7%. For math, we had 30.8%, which was down 9.6%. Our growth all in math was 106.2%, which was up 4.9%. And our promising 25 in math was 116.3, which was down 0.1%.
Okay, for biology 1 science, we had 33.9% that achieved proficiency. This was down 9.7%. For US history, we had 63% proficiency, and this was up 6.7%. For acceleration, we had 40%, which was down 4.7%. And for graduation, we had 88.8%, which was down 3%. And finally, for CCR, it was 8.8, and that was an increase by 1.1.
And I'm gonna combine, as Ms. Jackson did too, for the sake of time, our overall school goals along with our first benchmark assessment results. So our goal for English and proficiency is 31%. Our growth all for English, 71.9% is our goal, and for our promising 25 is 86.9%. And I'll skip over to US history. We do not measure growth in US history, so our proficiency goal is 66%.
Okay, for algebra, our proficiency rate goal was 22.6%. I'm sorry, we achieved 22.6, and our goal is 32%. Our growth goal is 106.2% for growth for all, and for growth for all promising 25%, it's 116.3. And finally, for biology 1, our goal this year is 38%.
Okay, for our first benchmark assessment results, for English, our goal was 31%, and we had 16% proficiency. Our growth all was 50%, the goal was 71.9, and our promising 25 growth was 77%, and the goal was 86.9%. For US history, again, our goal was 66%, and for the first benchmark assessment, we had 30%.
Okay, for algebra 1, our goal was 22.6%. We achieved 17% proficiency on our algebra 1 first benchmark assessment. For growth for all of our students, our goal was 106.2%, and we are right now at 80%. And finally, for growth for our promising 25%, we had a goal of 116.3, and we achieved 44%. And finally, for biology one, our goal, proficiency goal for the year is 38%, and we are currently at 51% for biology one.
Okay, for school, enrollment, our enrollment in August was 629, for September is 634. Our student, ADA for August was 91.44%, and, for September is 90.48%.
The number of students with 2 or more absentees for the month of August was 103, and for the month of September, it was 216. Teacher attendance rate for the month of August was 65%, and for the month of September, it was 68%. And the number of discipline referrals we had total for the month of August was 174, and for September, it was 123.
And, just to, we notated that we did have, several teachers, absent at the beginning of the school year due to COVID. It kind of ran through us, initially. So those numbers indicate the COVID surge. And for discipline, we have some things in place. We had a lot of issues with tardies and absenteeism, so we knew our numbers were gonna be high because we are actually enforcing that. If they are tardy and they receive the 3 or more, they're going to ISS or OSS. So we know we're gonna have a hit at the beginning, but we did notice a surge. We started out like with 310, and the next 2 weeks it went down to 110, and then the next 2 weeks it went down to 55. So we noticed that it did have an impact.
And as a district, we're gonna have to put some, relook at our attendance policy for the high school because it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and so there are some things that, we have been discussing that we need to put into place so that, students understand that attendance matters. And so we need them in school.
We have a celebration during last month for the student that achieved perfect attendance for the first 9 weeks grading period. And we also got a celebration recently for the student that achieved honor roll this week.
When you say tardy, are you talking about tardy coming to school, or tardy while in school?
Both coming to school and in between classes.
But what do you think accounts for the absences? Was that COVID? From the high school? There's a lot of absences.
It's a number of things. We're still, for the high school, remember these 2 students were around 8th grade when the pandemic hit. So they have the idea that, hey, if I can just go online and do my work, it still counts. I don't need to be in the classroom. We have some students who, they're working. And so, it's a struggle to say, hey, you gotta be at school. And so, I know that team met with our senior students. Although you're seniors, your attendance still matters. And so they've seen a decrease since that time, in, those chronic absences at that level. But just looking at, working with those families to make certain they understand, we need your children at school.
When they aren't in attendance, are we finding that, is it this idea I'm working from home, that they are logging in to a platform? Or are they not logging in at all? Is there some presence of these students? Or do they have the idea, that they can, basically work from home? It's an online class?
No, because that's not truly an option for them except for extreme, situations.
To make up something when they're
For some of them is, well, if I'm not at school, when I come back, I'm gonna bother my teacher, get all my makeup work.
Yeah.
So as long as I do my work, I should be okay.
Well, the whole world is moving into this where I've got the option to go or stay home.
Yeah, we are using Canvas, so a lot of the assignments are on
That's
Canvas.
right.
So,
They feel like I'm watching, I can look at my Canvas, I can see something, but they don't get any
still
credit
have to
for
have
just
seat
logging
hours.
in.
Right.
we're stressing that you have to have those physical seat hours. For our action steps, we identified, we have our weekly PLC, every Tuesday, or it may be a Thursday, because we separated English, Tuesdays and Thursdays. After analyzing the data, we put in place that the teachers will begin to use bell ringers to target those deficit areas And we are also grouping the students according to those deficit areas. And the high school is actually doing centers, so every Wednesday, they rotate through centers. And that gives the teachers time to have specific one-on-one time with those students who need that extra assistance. We're doing student data talks, so the students know where they are, they know where they need to be. They're owning the data, the teachers owning the data, and the admins are owning the data. And that helps because you hear them saying, okay, I need 4 points, so they know where they need to go. And we have actually just began our after-school enrichment today, and we will continue that until testing time. That's not on this one, but as far as the district, we have our district leadership team provide support to us. And we have the curriculum department coaches that is assisting. One of our focus is ACT, and we have an ACT coach who is implementing strategies that all classes, not just the subject area, but electives and everybody can use to make the students more aware of the vocabulary, because that's one of the issues, not understanding vocabulary. So we have some key words that we are announcing daily, and teachers are using in the classroom and posting, so the more they see it, they're familiar with it when it's test time.
Do they do a practice?
Yes, we did have a practice, and believe it or not, we had some really good scores off the practice test, and the children were excited. One student made a 30 in one area, and she was just elated. So, that made a big difference, to them. So the more they practice, the more familiar they become with it, and the more comfortable they will be with the actual test. And we're stressing that ACT isn't just to get you in college. This is also an option. If you are not successful on the state test, you can utilize this as a graduation requirement. And it's money, so we're honing in on that as well. We have consultants coming in for English, math, and history. And we're utilizing Mr. Tanner for biology. I think that was on the school leadership team. We're meeting regularly just to meet with the teachers, analyze the data to see which next steps we need to take. So as we look at data, our goals shift based off of the students' performance. Any questions?
So we applaud our leadership teams. They are working very diligently, very closely with teachers to make certain that our children receive the best education possible, and we should make certain that we see that play out come springtime.
Item 6, approval of October 17, 2023 special call meeting minutes. Approval of October 17, 2023 regular meeting minutes. And approval of November the 2nd, 2023 special meeting minutes.
I move that we approve 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3.
Second.
Moving and second, all in favor?
Uh,
Aye, passes 5-0. Anything in consent items that you would like to move to action item? If not, then get approved.
So moved. Second.
Moving and second, all in favor?
uh,
Aye, passes 5-0. Action item 8.1.
Good afternoon, Mr. James, members of the board, Mrs. McDonald Green. On behalf of the interim superintendent, the Office of Human Resources is presenting the personnel board report for November 28, 2023. It is the recommendation of the interim superintendent that the board of trustees review and approve the items which you have before you. Does anyone have any questions in regards to any of the documents that you have before you for the personnel report?
I move for approval of personnel report.
second.
Moving and second, all in favor? Passes 5-0. 8.2, Mr. Byrd.
Good
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, superintendent. You have before you the approval of the claim, 8.2, approval of the claims dockets and the acceptance of the financial reports. Within your binders, you will find claim dockets folders dated October 13th and October 27th, which were delivered to the board for review. Additionally, the October 2023 financial reports and capital project summaries are included as well. I'll pause to see if there are any questions regarding any of those 5 required financial reports or the claim documents that were included presented to you.
If there are no comments, I move that we approve the claims docket and acceptance of financial documents as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. 8.3.
Davis.
Good evening, President James, members of the board, Ms. McDonald Green. Before you have 8.3 approval to open and review bids for digital watchdog security camera equipment. So, permission was granted to advertise for digital watchdog brand security camera equipment. The advertisement ran for 2 consecutive weeks, which was October 1st through October 8th. On October 11th, 2023, a mandatory walkthrough meeting was held, but no one showed up. So, consequently, the bid had to be resubmitted for a second advertisement. The run dates for that were October 27th through November 3rd, 2023. It is the recommendation of the superintendent that the board of trustees grant approval to open and review the bids for the digital watchdog brand security camera equipment. Vendors that met all specifications will be invited to participate in a reverse auction. The reverse auction will be held on December 5th at 10 a.m.
So how many bids did you get?
So we got 4 bids came in. 2 came electronically, 1 was mailed and received electronically, and 1 came through the mail, which they sent 2 copies of the same thing.
So that's, the only paper copy you have is just that one bid?
We have 2 paper copies. And out of those 2, 1 actually sent it electronically as well as by mail.
Okay, you're asking for permission to
Open and
Open it
To
review.
open and review, which we still, once we do that, we still have to have a reverse auction once we see that all specifications.
okay.
I move that we grant approval to open and review the bids for digital watchdog security camera equipment.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
It passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank
8.4.
8.4, Mr. James, members of the board, as you're aware, our board policy says that the district will remain in guidance with Mississippi Department of Finance and Administration when it comes to travel reimbursement rates. And so as of October 1, those rates have increased. And so the maximum state reimbursement rate is now $59 per day, unless personnel employees are traveling to high cost areas. And so it's the recommendation that we approve this travel increase.
So, second.
Been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes 5-0. So you move up.
Well, you still can't buy breakfast for that.
$59?
Well, you can, I don't mean to say that you
You know.
can't, but,
Wait a minute, the $59 for what?
that's
A
the
day,
whole, the
per
whole
day.
day.
The whole day?
Well, if you go to New York,
What?
the whole joke.
So you know that the per day rate, I believe, is $46.
Mhm.
So it's
Oh,
not
was it up
59.
46?
It was $46.
When I was.
So I think
sitting
that's
down
what,
there,
8, 11,
That's the food.
Oh, okay.
8, 11, 23, $8 for breakfast, $11 for lunch, $23 for dinner.
For the train.
So
It actually depends on where you're traveling to.
It really does.
on the coast, it's a little different than
It really does.
Cause, you know, some cities are high cost cities.
Cause like if you go into South Haven, it's 59. If you go into Starkville, it's 64.
Oh, is that right?
Oxford, 64. So it depends on
Where you go.
where
It's a high cost area.
Then if you go into Fayette, it's like,
$5.
3 for $5.
That was approved, right?
Yeah. Okay. 8.5.
Oh,
It says Davis is supposed to be you.
Oh, okay, that's right. I was wondering about that. I said, okay, well. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
8.5.
8.5, okay. Because I didn't know Mr. James, members of the board, Ms. McDonald Green.
I'm answering a question.
Okay.
We don't work in those areas. This is for academics.
True.
you in academic.
I'm in.
And there's no cost to it associated. There's
So it's no
No
cost.
cost, and this is our second time anyway.
Yes.
So we've had it before, I'm just renewing the agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's no conflict.
So no conflict at all.
Okay.
Agenda item 8.5 is a request to enter into our second, annual agreement with Alcorn State, Talent Search Program. This partnership will allow students to be exposed to colleges, a variety of colleges and cultural activities. We already have about 60-some students in this program from last year, and we would like to continue to partnership with Alcorn State because they really do expose our students to a lot of things. They help with financial aid, making sure, and not only the students, they work with the families of the students. And their target are first generation students who may not ever think about going to college. So they take them different places, college tours, and they come in the building and they tutor with those students and mentor those students. So we would like to continue this partnership with Alcorn State University. And it is the recommendation of our interim superintendent that the NASD board, school board approves the MOU between Natchez-Adams School District and Alcorn State University for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Moving second, all in favor? Aye. Pass 5-0. 8.6.
8.6 is the approval of the use of facilities request. There's a request from the Marybird Perkins Cancer Center to have a wellness screening for April 13th, 2024, using the Natchez Middle School parking lot. There's a request by the General Missionary Baptist Association Layman's Ministry to use the Natchez High School gym and classroom areas for a youth empowerment session. That is for March 22, 23 of 2024. And then there is a request from a family to use the Robert Lewis Middle School cafeteria and yard for a family reunion, and that is for July 6, 2024. So it's a recommendation that the board approve those facility requests.
So moved.
Second.
As long as we have something in place for cleanup.
Yes, that's a part of their
This
agreement.
part.
Okay. All in favor? Pass 5-0. 8.7.
8.7 is a request for the approval of student travel out of state. According to board policy, out of state travel has to be board approved. There's a request for the band to attend the Verity and Vidalia Louisiana Christmas parades. The track team to participate in competition at LSU, in Baton Rouge and McNeese in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And an overnight student travel for the Beta Club from West to Biloxi, Mississippi. So there's a recommendation that the board approves those travel requests.
So,
Second.
It's been moved
I
and
don't know,
second.
that's a long trip there.
It's been moved. Yes, all in favor?
Did you want to say Biloxi?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Biloxi, yes, sir, for Beta Club.
Oh, the paper.
Okay. 8.8.
Oh, Ms. Collins, I'm sorry. Ms. Collins and Ms. Lewis are here representing the band booster. But we have here, the request to approve the Natchez High Band Booster Club bylaws. We have worked very, closely with this dedicated team of parents, very close. Very, very close. And so they have submitted these bylaws for approval. And they were created, of course, with their input, these are their bylaws.
And it's been vetted.
Yes,
Have you reviewed the bylaws?
yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You recommend it be approved?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I so move.
It's been moved and second, all in favor? That passes
And
5.
we'd like to publicly applaud Ms. Collins and Ms. Lewis for their dedication. They are mother hens. Whatever those students need, they're going to make certain that they have what they need.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank y'all.
Y'all got a copy of them? Or you got them now? You got a copy of them?
They're here.
You will. Give them back? Both? Look at them, keep, you gotta read. Okay, 8.9.
Mr. Davis? First responder? Manual? Mr. Davis? You got it?
I mean, the first responders manual was put together for, a grant we were applying for with, Ms. Keisha Campbell. We worked, let's see, a week before we got out on it. And, submitted it to each principal for, their approval and review.
This is an addendum to our crisis management plan, our emergency response plan. This addresses how we interact and partner with first responders, in the case of an emergency. We are also, going to apply for a grant for AEDs, which are, if there are cardiac issues in our schools, we will have the devices in order to respond to them quickly. And so as a part of that grant, we have to make sure that we updated our crisis management plan to include how we interact with first responders. So it's a recommendation that the board approves the first responder.
So we can apply for the grant.
Yes.
So, they have been personalized to each school, I see it, but literally,
Every school.
okay. So,
Second.
All in favor? Passes 5-0.
And will they do some sort of drill?
Then we have drills twice a year, so we had one, there's a fall semester drill and then there is a, second semester drill that is required. Mr. Davis also, has worked very closely. The first responders actually come to our campus to conduct their own drills, with their personnel, which is beneficial because if there's an emergency on our campuses, they're familiar with the layout of those campuses. The Department of Ed, is awarding grants to schools for the purchase of AEDs. And so if we are awarded those grants, then we will identify persons on our campuses who will be trained on how to use those devices.
it's not our students who go in cardiac arrest, it's been happening across the nation.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay. 8.10, that we gonna table that.
Offer motion we table 8.10.
Been moved and second, all in favor? Okay. 9, administrative report, 9.1 is federal program, Ms. Butler.
She on her?
Good afternoon, Mr. James, members of the board, interim superintendent, Mrs. McDonald Green, all other, central office leadership team members. Before you is the report for, federal programs, ESSER 2 and ESSER 3. As you will notice at the top of ESSER 2, the grant ended September 30th of this year, 2023. The initial allocation, or original allocation is, there for your review. All funds for ESSER 2 have to be liquidated by December 30th of this year, 2023.
Also in your packet of information is the ESSER 3 overview. ESSER 3 is ESSER ARP. The original allocation is stated at the top for you. The grant ends September 30th of 2024, at which time all funds must be obligated, and those funds must be liquidated for all services, goods, and commodities paid in full by December 30th of 2024. Any questions?
No questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, 9.2 is the board calendar. Anything need to be added or taken off, give it to David. 9.3, superintendent.
9.3, Mr. James, we're gonna go quickly through some of the updates that we have for the board. Just a reminder of the commitments that we have. One, we're committed to students first. It's about student progress, student growth, and that's our primary focus. Commitment to service and respect. The board has prioritized customer service, and that is something that we continue to work to make certain that everyone is treating everyone with the respect that they deserve. Commitment to results. At the end of the day, the results matter. At the end of the day, that's what our community is looking at. What are the results that we have on our student achievement? And then commitment to growth. Excellence is the expectation. No excuses, no exceptions, no alibis.
Ms. McDonald?
Yes, ma'am.
While we're on this idea of commitment to service and respect, I really appreciated the letter that you wrote to the whole community about Thanksgiving. That was just well done and well said. That's good for transparency and for morale.
Thank you, ma'am. And one thing that the district leadership team and I have discussed, because communication is the priority. And so we know that there are some other things that we want to do in the coming months to make certain that we keep teachers aware of what board decisions are made, what is discussed. And so we're just gonna ramp up the communication that we have with our stakeholders.
And as an English,
Yes.
as a former English teacher, I just wanna say, that was a beautifully written letter.
Well, you know I double checked it, triple checked
Grammar was-
it.
Grammar, well, it's more than grammar.
Okay.
Good writing is much more than grammar.
Oh, okay.
On social media, I'll clean up a post 3 or 4 times because I hate it.
I know. It was well written, thank you.
The FCCLA chapter, that is one of the technical student organizations at Fallon Career and Technical Center. They participated in the Mississippi chapter's state convention. 48 chapters were asked to design a lapel pin. And out of the 48 chapters that submitted, our chapter won. And so you have on the screen our lapel. Beautifully done. We have been told that the FCCLA is going to produce that lapel pin, so we'll make certain that you all get one.
We need to use that for the balloon race next year.
Well, we made contact with the
Submit it
right
to maybe
people.
the Natchez Democrat.
Some other great thing, and this is the organization, these are the kids that attended that state convention. We have here, they also traveled to Birmingham, Alabama to participate in the regional convention. And so here are our students and their sponsors. And over to the left is Miss Callie Martin, who won first place in the Science and Family and Consumer Science Online Challenge. That's actually one of our employees' granddaughters, Miss Monica Jackson. Anderson. So we're super proud of that. Here we have Miss Tavia Morris, who is a Natchez Early College student. Tavia is a member of the State Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And so in October, she, along with students from across the state, participated in the council's first meeting for the 23-24 school year. So we are very proud of Tavia. The Mississippi Department of Education has opened and is sponsoring a dual enrollment and dual credit scholarship program for juniors and seniors who are attending any of the public universities, community colleges in the state. And so we have been encouraging our students to apply. And so we have had 77 students who have been awarded those dual enrollment scholarships. 44 in Natchez Early College, 33 in Natchez High School. And I think that the award is $350 per semester, per semester. Yes, so an excellent opportunity. We applaud Coach Africa Moore, who has been selected as the girls' head coach for the Mississippi Association of Coaches in MHSAA, Mississippi Alabama Girls All-Star Basketball Game. And if I'm not mistaken, this is her second year as head coach. So we applaud Coach Moore. Here we have, and let me decrease that so everyone can see. Just wanted to show you all some of the wonderful things, activities that have been occurring on our campus. This is from McLaurin Elementary. They have had a number of wonderful family engagement activities, especially for third grade students, as we know that they have to pass the third grade gate. And so they have been offering wonderful engagement opportunities. So they've had potatoes, text features, and taters, grits and gate. In the middle, though, that's Miss Trotter and I believe Miss Birchfield's class. They just are doing wonderful activities to keep students engaged while they are learning the things that they need to be to master for the state assessment.
Is this real food you talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
So you can go. For taters and text features. They taught parents how to support children about text features, but they also had a potato bar.
Okay.
So at Grits and Gates, they
What
had
time does
grits.
that take?
Those are over, but we'll make certain you have the upcoming.
Didn't see no
Now, Mr.
invite
Bird,
to that.
How were the grits? They weren't grainy grits, were they?
Yeah, Joe,
Yeah? No. No, I didn't go to.
Here we have Morgantown Elementary. Their students, they rewarded their students a magic reward for their performance on the MAP assessment. So they allow students to visit the Mississippi State Fair. So you have some of our students at some of the exhibits that were there. We're focusing on accelerated reading this year for the elementary schools. And so they had their first term Nacho Average Reader celebration. This is West Elementary. They've also had family engagement activities at West Elementary, but also teachers and the administrations are becoming very creative when it comes to keeping students engaged with reading and comprehension. We have to build stronger readers. And so you have here in the upper left corner, I believe that is Ms. Moore's class. And so they were reading what you can do with a paleta. And so they had popsicles and tacos. There's one book that they read that had to deal with pizza, and so one of our local companies donated pizza for the students. So they are engaged, again, keeping our students engaged. And also at the bottom left, the annual Thanksgiving celebration family dinner. The parents really are excited about each year. Here we have Natchez Early College. In the upper left, you have Coach Wesley helping children dissect insects and worms. God bless them. It was not my favorite activity in high school.
I love it.
Also, we have the students visited USM as part of their college tour experiences. So the students were really excited. Ms. Ware, we had to talk to my son because he is now been swayed another direction.
That's all right, give them to me.
I told him I was gonna send him out there. Natchez High School, as Ms. Lewis talked about, they had their business attire fashion show. Was a wonderful opportunity with student participants and also some adult participants. The goal is to make certain that students are aware of how to dress appropriately when they're going for interviews and so forth. We have here 3 of our Natchez High School students participating in Bank Shadow Day with Delta Bank, where they got an opportunity to actually see bank operations in real lifetime. And so we know that's an experience. I've worked at a bank before. That is real work. You think they're just sitting in that window, but when you have to account for your money down to the penny, You have to make certain that you are very detail oriented, so we are thankful that they had that opportunity for that experience. You have here at the Natchez High School, Mr. Cardell Jenkins, making certain, again, students' hands-on applications. So students are able to see the real world application of the things that they are learning. So here they are making models of atoms. We thank the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated for their donations of dress code compliant coats and jackets to the students of Natchez High School. So hopefully Ms. Reynolds and her team can decrease the number of stops they have during the day for people who are out of compliance. We had an opportunity for a meet and greet with some of our local education agencies, private schools, parochial and charter schools. Mr. West was in attendance. A great opportunity for us to meet those people that we have interactions with electronically, because you'll know that we are the flow-through entity for these agencies when it comes to federal programs funding. And so it was an opportunity for us to discuss, some commonalities, and hopefully we're able to build some stronger partnerships in the coming months. Attendance, we have been focused on attendance. We want to make certain that our kids understand that attendance matters. And so here you have each of the individual schools. McLaurin had a low attendance for the first month one, which is August and September, at 90.32, but they have been able to increase that to 93.40. We applaud Ms. Jackie Jones. If they're not at school, she is going to find them. She's going to find them. As a district, just a slight fluctuation. Month one, 93.22%. For month two, 92.64%. Upcoming events: the Natchez High School annual fall choir concert will be held this coming Wednesday, tomorrow at 5:30 in the Natchez High School gymnasium. The annual Christmas concert will be December the 14th at 6:30 p.m. That will feature the Natchez High School band, choir, string ensemble, middle school choir, Morgantown Maestros, and the McLaurin 5th grade band and the Susie B. West choir. So we hope that you all are able to join us. And then ACT Saturday School Boot Camp number 2 will be held this coming Saturday. We're trying to encourage as many students as possible to come in to learn those strategies that they need in order to increase those ACT scores. That's all that I have, Mr. James.
I have a question.
Yes.
And this is to a certain extent not related to what we're talking about. What's the earliest grade level where children in the school district can access musical instruments?
5th grade.
Fifth.
And let me just say, it is so good to see the 5th grade band up there. It's
So
good.
the plan was for this year to put band, provide that exposure to all students, but it became a personnel issue. The person that we thought we were going to be able to hire didn't come aboard. But the goal is we have to start exposing them to those musical instruments and theory and all of that early in the elementary to build that interest going into the middle school.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I do want to address, I'm quite sure that the board, members of our community saw the newspaper article
Yes.
about grade inflation. It stated in the article, the Mississippi Department of Education did a peer review study with districts across the state with a company called Glimpse K-12. What they did was they took a look at operations, technology, the use of instructional programs and so forth that we were using. Also took a look at grades in comparison to student performance on the state assessment. Based upon that report, Natchez-Adams School District had one of the highest inflation rates or percentages for 5th grade math and 8th grade math. We were aware of the report. Grade inflation is something that you always have to address as educators. It's nothing new that we've addressed. Over the last several years, we've worked with our principals very diligently in looking at the type of assignments that students are given, what assignments are being graded, to make certain they are in alignment with the standards that are being taught. So our PLCs, principals are now putting their eyes on, this is the assignment that we are grading for this week. to determine whether or not students have mastered the standards or the skills that are being taught. And so that is something that we'll continue to do. We'll continue to look at those grading practices. When I was in the classroom, given a vocabulary assignment where you had to go into the dictionary to find the words, and you got your 100, those days are gone. And so we have making certain that the assignments that students are receiving grades for, they're actually aligned to the standards that are being taught. I will say for 8th grade math, on last year we did have some challenges with personnel. When you have permanent subs in the classroom, that's something that you just constantly have to work on. This year we do have the advantage of having certified instructors there. Also, from Ms. Dunbar's presentation, you know that's the focus area for the Natchez Middle School to make certain that we are working and targeting 8th grade math. Also with 5th grade math, we had 2 new novice teachers. Again, that is just a process that we'll continue to evaluate our grading policies, continue to look at the assignments that are offered to our students to make sure that we're able to decrease those numbers.
And I would say that it wasn't online, it was in the actual paper.
Yes.
And to say that those are state numbers, why did they have Wilkinson County so close to Adams County?
And I would question the very premise, how grade inflation is measured. Everybody in higher education understands that grade inflation is rampant because it's the only thing that college students use for motivation. And there's all kinds of studies out there that refute the ways in which grade inflation is measured. So I'm also not so sure that the study itself doesn't have some flaws. And
then when you consider that you are comparing 9 weeks of instruction, or actually 30 weeks of instruction to a 1-day assessment. So I can be a straight A student, a solid straight A student, and come in and test on 1 day not feeling well and not perform my best. So now you're saying that my grade is inflated because on that 1 day I didn't feel well. Again, we will continue to look at our internal policies and processes to make certain that we're keeping an eye and monitoring what students are presented with, how they are being graded, and on what they're being graded.
certainly it's not to say that we don't care about that because it's perceived as cheating, but grade inflation is across the board, particularly as we know, Luana, in higher ed. Because of the lack of study and tenured professors who will just grade, especially in our higher level universities.
Our administrators are tasked with conducting gradebook audits periodically through the grading period to put eyes on the number of grades that are entered, the types of grades that are being entered, the distribution of grades. District leadership also takes a look at that, and so again, we'll continue to look at those processes. I will say at our facilities, the Colin property, the Washington property, the maintenance department went out and did some upkeep on the property out there, so there is an improvement there. We know that the Frazier property, there were in preparation for the November election, that there was some work, there was repairs that were done there. Mr. Byrd, Mr. Ford, and Officer Davis are continuing to finalize that process with our insurance company for that property over there. West Elementary, you all aware at the beginning of the year in August, we had a gas issue there that required us to disconnect the gas to take care of that issue. So now we're in the process of reconnecting gas. We have been working with Natchez Heating and Cooling and Atmos. Atmos actually had to go out of town in order to get a meter that we needed to finish that connection. So Mr. Ford is working with that company. They should be on site tomorrow to hopefully finalize those repairs. At Morgantown, we have had a roof issue. There's an area there that has been used for a garden and for a butterfly garden. Mr. Brown discovered today that that roof has caved in. And so his team will start work tomorrow to remove that. There's no concern about student safety because it's not in an area that students are in. So just
No more butterflies.
no more butterflies. Okay, that's all that I have, Mr. James.
Okay, board, do you have anything?
As usual, everybody stay safe. COVID is not gone, and the flu is on the rise. So everybody need to stay safe.
No, sir.
I want to congratulate our teachers, and I want to say I'm glad that the district is recognizing teachers. Thank you, Tony, for their hard work. We can't say that enough because they're the ones that are with the students every day, working hard, and let's continue to recognize them and celebrate them. So I thank you for doing that.
Just wanna say, I get emotional sometimes, and the district today, yesterday, few months, it's just, every time I think about it, and I think about what the naysayers were saying and how we have just threw those claims away because everything is going good. I cannot say enough how happy I am to be a part of this board in this district. Y'all just don't know. And then coming from a family of educators and being a product of the district. So I do want to say one thing, because y'all know I think of things off the top. This building, this street, Homer-Tittle Street, this sign on the outside, cut those bushes down so I can see that Natchez-Adams school. They need to know where our administration building is.
We'll take care of it.
Cut the bushes down so I can say that's my building right there.
Down with the bushes.
Down with the bushes. Thank you.
And we thank Ms. Tennessee for making certain that our building is well decorated for the season. So
I agree with you, put the bush down. I've been saying, I said it a couple of years ago. But anyway.
You didn't do it like the hoop. You said.
No. But like I said, just keep doing what you're doing. And we thank you all for what you do. Okay?
Oh, and I wanna commend Jackie Jones.
Yeah,
Jackie Jones, don't short-step Playboy Academy, because of Jackie Jones. She was also, she received a plaque too as well. And she has more credits than I do. And I was doing pretty darn good. Then I saw Jackie Jones now. Congratulations.
They the Knicks.
Yeah.
They got the big.
Yeah.
Hey,
We got
Jack.
last year.
Yeah.
Ada.
Thank y'all.
But you know, they know them people.
Oh, they cheat.
I ain't saying they cheat, they know. They kinfolk.
Okay,
No, we just got to earn out.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll offer motion that we have a closed determination.
Second.
It's been moved second, all in favor?
Aye.
If that 5-0, we close the termination. Y'all
I'll offer
go.
motion.
Y'all go.